Yeah, and we could do,
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I have Barbies.
Barbies, guitars. What's the difference?
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
you can't make music with Barbies, but you can
No,
have fun with them.
no, I'm not particularly keen on the Barbies, but what can you do?
Hey, man, it's all good.
How are you?
I can't complain. Everything is great.
So, yes, straight up. Maybe because we have a new book called Horned, the metalhead book of goats.
I like where this is going.
so, so all about goats. So my first question, I know it's predictable. GoatWhore. What is that all about?
What do you mean? The name?
Yeah, the name. The name.
Oh, man, this is a long story.
I know. I'm sorry. I know. Probably you get that a lot, but it's because we have this book.
Yeah.
So I think it's fitting. It's fitting.
Yeah. Let me start at the beginning. Okay. So when we were forming the band, we were kicking around a bunch of names. Nothing was really sticking or anything like that, and we were reading a lot of occult books and trying to accumulate a lot of occult information. And somewhere along the lines, it slips my mind where it came from, but there was a ritual that we came across. I forgot exactly where it came from, where the information came from, but there was a ritual that there was a female that would have an orgy with a bunch of men. And at the climax of the ritual, she would make a goat ejaculate. So thus, having sex with many men, then technically having sex with a goat kind of made her a goat whore. So we came up with that idea, and we were kicking the name around, just should we call this band GoatWhore? Let's keep searching for names, but let's keep this one in the back of our mind because this could be cool. Then we were discussing the name with friends and stuff. What do you think about the name? And people were like, yeah, it's great. Then we were drinking at a strip club one night, and with one of my very good friends. Yeah, of course. We're drinking at a strip club one night. And, we have one of our friends that's a little rowdy and wild when he gets drunk. And this woman comes up, and she wants to get our money. So she starts shaking her ass and her titties in front of our faces, trying to get us to give her money. She had the ponytails. She had a long face. She had the big ears. The only thing she was missing was a goatee. But she was she looked like a goat. Her face had that look with the ponytails and the big ears, the long face.
It was meant to be.
Yeah. Then our friend that was drunk, that was being obnoxious, just like screamed at her, like, get away from me, you fucking goat whore. And thus I was like, yeah, that's the final nail in the coffin, and we're going to call the band this. That's just fate. Fate is controlling this way too much. So
did you have like the label saying anything like because I would imagine would have been a bit hard to sort of market the records and all that.
No, actually, we never had any problems.
Oh, okay.
The only issue that we ever had was we were playing in the Bible Belt, Mississippi, and the club we were playing at was across the street from a church. So they couldn't put goat whore on the marquee. They put like goat and crossed out a couple of the letters or whatever, but people knew what was going on. But that's the only thing that really happened where we actually got censored because of the name. Was we played across from a church in the Bible Belt, Mississippi, and I'm sure that would have caused problems if this this venue would have had goat whore emblazoned across the marquee across from a church.
Since we have this thing out, and I've been reading about goats and the divinity of goats in ancient Egypt,
Yeah.
It's quite a strange coincidence that this thing ended up in modern culture, because the Egyptians adore and worship many animals, not just goats.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the goats was the last animal that they actually had any interest, because they had the jackal, they had many animals which were more prominent in the Egyptian sort of hierarchy of deities. So probably the goat was like the last of like. So it's really strange how it ended up now as the prominent animal in all of the animal kingdom in metal.
Well, and it's a symbol as well, a symbol of our Lord and Savior Satan, as well, I mean, what was it? Anton LaVey first utilized that kind of, where he utilized the goat inside the pentagram with the horns pointing up, going towards heaven to attack heaven with his horns, Yeah, it's all kind of symbolism like that, But I'm glad the goat is having its day finally.
But then again, the goat is a farm animal. So
I agree.
So it's not even like a lion, like a dragon, or like an eagle. It's not even a noble animal. It's just like you have goat milk. You have it's like it's a beautiful animal, but it's not like a mythological animal.
Right. Yeah. It's almost like the underdog of the animal world.
No, it's just one of the other, like a duck, chicken, and then you have a goat.
Yeah. I mean, who knows exactly where all this came from? Why the goat was always used as like kind of like the underdog. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not being being. It's just literally, this book is just being released. So that's why I'm and then, I saw the interview with you guys. So I thought, man, I have to ask now. Now I have to pick a fight about goats. Anyway, doesn't matter. And you have a new album out.
Yes. It's coming up. It's coming out next month. Yes.
Yes. Angels hung from the arches of heaven. Right. So that's the title there. Could you please tell me how you got to it, please?
What do you mean? Like
it's a long phrase. I'm sure you guys have put a lot of effort in formulating the title.
Actually, it was our singer Ben that came up with the title. And I think where it came from, he had a song that was called that. And, the song came out fantastic. So he was like, why don't we just call the album use the title of the song as the title of the album, and it would be the title track. And it was like, yeah, it's a great title. It's a great song. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to, use the title of the album after this song, because the song came out so awesome, So basically that's where that came from.
And the artwork also is very interesting. Do you work with the artist directly? Do you give direction and,
Yes. Yes, absolutely. It's a guy named Jordan Barlow. He's a very good friend of ours. And we've been working with him for years. So he kind of knows when we kind of give him an idea what to go for, because he's done the last couple of album covers for us. So he knows where we're coming from when we explain to him what we need, and he's very, excuse me. He is he's very knowledgeable when it comes to like these underlying occult kind of references in the artwork that a normal person really wouldn't notice. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a subliminal thing within the artwork that he creates that has these occult ties,
So can you share with me some of the symbolism perhaps?
Yes. The 10 of swords, because there's 10 swords stabbing a raven on the album cover. Yes. And the Ten of Swords in the tarot is not. It's a symbol of negativity. You know what I'm saying? It's a symbol. It's like how can I say it? The Ten of Swords is like a kind of it's like, fuck, how can I explain it?
Like a curse, maybe?
Almost. It's like a painful yet inevitable end.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Why the raven? Why the raven?
Why not? Why it could have been a goat.
Or a duck.
Yeah, exactly. But the raven, I'm not sure. I haven't figured that one out yet. We kind of just gave him the idea of with the Ten of Swords killing an animal.
Okay.
It's almost like a like I said, like a means to an end in a bad way, but almost like a renewal as well. Because if you're reading if you're doing the tarot deck. And it's all in what way the card is facing is what it means. So, the Ten of Swords could be a bad thing or it could be a good thing, If they're facing upward like they are on the album cover, it's a terrible thing. But if they're facing downward, it's almost like a state of renewal in which something is ending, but something good is coming from it, or, a new start, if you will.
I love the fact that no reference to what we just discussed about the goats. I like when album covers don't have the logo or the name of the band in the cover. I love that because it just makes it more elegant and more open to just to be sucked in by the music.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
Yes. Yeah, we kind of didn't want to put the logo on the artwork, like on the top or whatever. Of course, it's going to be on the side of the releases and stuff, but we wanted to keep that symbol just like an ominous kind of just image, like symbolic, to where it's like you see it and you kind of have to draw your own interpretation of what exactly is going on,
I love your album covers. They're all full of symbols and like you said, open to interpretation, but at the same time, they draw you in. I love that. And you always worked with the same artist?
For a while now, yes. Since I think Blood for the first album cover he did for us was Blood for the Master. So we've been doing, this is like the fourth one he's done for us so far.
Okay. So did Blood for the Master go well in the Bible Belt?
Wait, say again?
In the Bible Belt, you mentioned the Bible Belt because the Blood for the Master, obviously, for the obvious reasons. How did it go down?
I mean, the reception to the album was fantastic. It's one of my favorite ones. It's definitely one of the more vicious albums that we've put out, and I feel that this one is kind of reminiscent to that one, because if you kind of look at the artwork for Blood for the Master and you look at the artwork to this one, they're kind of similar in a way, It's kind of like we're returning to form in a way, I guess you can say, because we kind of, I wouldn't say that we drifted off the path, but we're trying a lot of different things on the past couple of records. But, I think that we just kind of wanted to just do a new album that just was going to rip everyone's face off, But as far as the reception for Blood for the Master and the Bible Belt, it was pretty good, I would say. Mississippi's just around the corner from where we live right now, so we don't really delve into that area, so much. So we don't really have too many problems with the Christians. They kind of do their own thing and stay away from us.
It's very strange, like in America, in the US, that you have this part of the country like so dedicated to their own thing. It's like, with the Amish, it's really strange. And like how they keep their tradition regardless of what goes on in the world. Why do you think happens in the States and nowhere else in the other countries in the West?
I think a lot of people, in the United States have a lot of lack of faith within themselves. And they're kind of looking for something to fill that void within themselves. So they look to whoever, they look to Jesus Christ, or they look to Buddha, or they look to whoever, and they dedicate their life to this deity that they've never seen and never seen any. How can I say it? They've never seen any results from their faith of this deity that they dedicate their life to. But I think it's just when it comes to like just being a spiritually weak person to follow something so blindly, But I think that just from seeing the world, and especially seeing the United States in general, there's a lot of spiritually weak individuals on this planet that are searching for something that they can't find. So they've tried to replace that with some imaginary being that's some higher power that lives up in the sky,
Or down below.
Or down below, but the one that lives down below, is, that's, I have yet to meet someone that is so, how can I say this? That is so obsessive like a Christian. I've never met like a Satanist that has, that this is what Satan says to do and you have to do it. I've never met a Satanist that is like that. It's a completely different belief system rather than like a Christian is like, well, God says you're not supposed to drink, so don't drink. God says you're not supposed to have sex before marriage, so don't you have sex before marriage,
Mm-hmm.
Where, the Satanists just kind of do whatever the fuck they want,
But again, in my opinion, because I'm Italian, what you just described is specific to the States because we don't have that in Italy. Our monks made most of the alcohol drinks that we drink.
Right.
So we don't have that. So maybe it's a United States sort of kind of culture phenomenon.
Yeah. Well,
maybe I don't know.
The Christians in the United States are a different breed of Christian. You know what I'm saying?
And moving to the music, would you say that the new album still follows the same kind of hybrid Black Death thrash metal sort of style? Because like when I listen to your music, it's like my head is like like thrash parts, and then there's a bit black metal. That's intentional, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, but you have to think, we are influenced by so many different styles of music, I mean, of course, all of them being extreme styles, we're influenced by punk, we're influenced by, of course, black metal, thrash metal, death metal. We're influenced by traditional heavy metal as well,
Okay.
It's just, we don't like being stuck in a corner for too long. You know what I'm saying? I would rather, how can I say this? I feel that we don't like, just sticking to one style of metal. It's just kind of whatever is heavy to us is what we're going to play, basically. We're not going to, that's why a lot of people get really confused or aren't really into what we do, because we're not strictly a black metal band or we're strictly a death metal band or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We like it all,
I'm the same. Like it's bizarre, like how things have changed in the metal scene. Like you have like the black metal scene, the death metal scene. Like when I first got into metal, it wasn't like that. You just like metal. Maybe you like some bands, maybe you don't like some other bands. It wasn't like specific to a genre. Um, what you're listening right now? Like, can you like pinpoint to any specific band that maybe influenced the album or influenced the way you play?
Oh man, look, we could start off with the tried and true Black Sabbath, of course.
Of course.
I constantly listen to Black Sabbath. That's good. An obvious one is Celtic Frost and Hellhammer as well.
Mm-hmm.
Venom, Bathory, Dark Throne, the Morbid Angel, Obituary, Exodus, Slayer. I mean, the list goes on and on of what we're constantly listening to different kind of music all the time, but always metal. But, it's just, we like it across the board, as long as it's good metal, it's good metal. Who cares what it is,
Exactly. It's been like 5 years since your last record. Like, was it because of the pandemic or any other reason?
Yeah, that definitely put a dampener on the whole thing, because we had a lot of the songs written by like 2019. By the end of 2019, we had the majority of the album written. So we're planning on going into the studio in 2020. And of course, the pandemic hit and that fucked everything up. So we couldn't physically get into a studio because basically the United States was shut down. You know what I'm saying? And so we were looking to go into a studio, and those studios were open because everything was fucking closed. And so as soon as we saw an opening for a studio here in Louisiana, we took it like immediately. We're like, book it as soon as possible. You guys open, we want it now. And but basically, yes, it was a pandemic that basically set this back like a couple of years, Like I said, we were ready to record like 2020, but shit happened,
So you'll be touring for this album, I would imagine.
Yes.
There are no like lockdowns in the States.
No. That's hopefully that's a thing of the past. Yeah, as soon as the record comes out, we already started touring for it. We recently just did a tour with the United States with us and Incantation, Bewitcher, and Caveman Cult. So we did like kind of a teaser tour, if you will, because they had released the first song, Blood on Satan's Flesh, right before the tour started. So we went out and we played the song live, and we're like, all right, we have an album coming out in October. So, yes, touring is definitely a thing that's going to happen after the record starts, without a doubt.
Awesome. On Metal Archives, as a location, I have New Orleans, Louisiana. Yes. Are you guys from New Orleans?
Yes, me and the lead singer. There was a point in time where all the members were from here, but people come and go. People don't want to play music anymore. People don't want to play music with me anymore. So currently me and Ben are the only two guys from the band that live in New Orleans right now. Zach Simmons, the drummer, lives in Arizona, and Robert Coleman, the bass player, lives in Texas. But we make it work. But yeah, basically the band started in New Orleans, and Ben are still here.
When you hear bands from your part of the world, like Pantera, I Hate God, and Corrosion of Conformity, there's an emotional attachment to Louisiana, to New Orleans. Can you tell me, as an outsider, why that's the case? What makes it different from other parts of the state?
There's something here that you can't explain. Oh, and when you get here, if you ever visit New Orleans or Louisiana in general, especially New Orleans, the southern area, you'll know what I'm talking about. Everybody that comes here to visit like feels it. There's something in the soil here that is different than anywhere else on the planet. Okay. There's a very how can I say it? a very morbid vibe here in a very strange way that you really can't pinpoint. It's a very dark place, you know, even though it's known for the party central here with Bourbon Street and all that stuff. It's something in the soil like that it vibrates here, that vibrates like nowhere else on this planet. And, you know, I had some friends that were recently here not too long ago. They were from Mexico and they came down here to visit. And that's the first thing they told me, like when we met up, they're like, man, there's something here that I can't pinpoint that is different than any other place on the planet that I've been to. So it's something that I can't really explain. You just have to come here and experience it for yourself.
Oh yeah, I would love to visit. I've been to the States, but not New Orleans. It's French, isn't it? It's a French name.
Yes. I think the people that colonized it were from France. So,
and I remember watching Easy Rider, when they go to the cemetery and they they take a trip.
Yeah,
you know that's every time I think of that movie. You know, when New Orleans comes in, like someone mentions it, I straight away think of that movie. I'm sure you see it.
Yes. That's kind of a good representation of how it is here.
That's good. You know? That's good. No, I'm sure it's fascinating, and a lot of history and a lot of European culture left behind.
Yeah, but what happened like a long time ago, I think when they first started colonizing down like in the southern areas of Louisiana, this is like where they put their criminals.
Okay.
Like they would just like, they would come in and they would have like murderers and rapists and thieves, and they would just come into the middle of nowhere down in South Louisiana and drop them off.
Like Australia.
It kind of, yes. So it was like, if you think about it, I guess that's kind of what adds the vibe that it has here, that like, this was a breeding ground for all the throwbacks of like normal society back when they came to colonize the area.
Australia turned out to be fine.
Yeah, I love Australia.
Yeah, Australians are great. Yeah. So maybe they weren't such bad criminals. Maybe they were just I don't know. Maybe they just had a bad day. I don't know.
Possibly.
Cool. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Not really.
Okay. It was great chatting with you.
Same here.
I hope my questions were not too, odd.
No, it was great, man. It was awesome.
Cool, man. Thank you. Thank you for your time, and all the best with the new album. And,
thank you, man.
Thank you. Take care, man.
Thank you. Hopefully I'll get one of your goat books.
Oh, yeah, man.
Sick. Awesome.
It's all about goats.
Yes, I definitely might have to pick one of those up without a doubt.
The strangest of all farm animals.
I'm into it. So it's called horned? Yes, horned, right?
Yeah, perfect. I was gonna call it in Italian, horned, cornuti, which means a cuckold. Because I tell you why. Because Dio came up with this,
right?
But because he was Italian, his background is Italian, and that's where he got it from. In Italy, this means either you saying to someone, you are like your wife or your husband, whatever is cheating on you, it's like an insult. So you say cornuto or cornuta, insult someone, saying that your wife or your husband is or girlfriend, whatever, is cheating on you. So that's one way of usage. And the other way is to wish the other person evil spirits out. That's what it means in Italian. And the funny enough is the same word, the same symbol, same everything.
Right. Interesting. I did not know this.
I was gonna call it cuckold. But then I changed it at the last minute to horned, which is the same word. It's the same word. But obviously, if you're Italian, you'll know.
Right. Yeah.
But it's, it's very tongue-in-cheek, and I hope people get the humor. Not that in metal there's a lot of humor, especially in black metal. Like no humor.
Right.
Like I don't know what happened to these guys for not having any humor. Maybe they don't have any sex. I don't know.
Well, if you don't have a sense of humor, he's probably not going to have a whole lot of sex. So
anyway,
cool. Good talking to you, man.
Take care.
You too.
Bye bye.
Hey folks, thanks for watching this podcast. If you enjoyed this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends, your family, and your cat. And stay awesome. Don't forget to check out our store at www.headingmusicartwork.com. Ciao for now.
Previously